Hello everyone, today I want to talk about Sisters of Parvos. First, I'll give you a short version which should give you a general idea, and then I'll go into details about each phase. First, you need these two quests done. You go to Pluto Hydra and throw a blue coin at the golden hand. Kill 25 enemies, wait for a sister candidate to spawn, start a sister, and later check her stats. Equip the right loadout for the sister mission, start the sister missions, and kill hounds to find out the Requiem. Get sister encounters, then trial and error for the order till you get it right. And at last, get on Railjack and finish her. Now you can enjoy the juicy rewards. If you don't have Requiem mods, I'll talk about that as well. Check chapters in description or in the timeline under the video. Required quests. To start a sister, you need the War Within and Call of Tempestari done. You get War Within at Sedna Junction, and Tempestari can be started from the Codex once you have a Railjack. Starting Granum space. Equip a Zorus. Mods don't matter much, but if you want just the Zorus build, here's one. Equip the right frame for the weapon you want. Since the weapon you get will have an element on it, make sure you use the right frame to get the right element, and here's the chart. Then start Hydra at Pluto. Now you have to look for the golden hand, and remember, to get the sister candidate, there should be distance between you and the extraction. If you're too close to the extraction, it will simply not spawn, so don't run to extraction like a dummy. Also, if you don't have Zenith crowns, they drop in the same mission, just wait for the treasurer and kill it. Once you have one, you can repeat the same process, killing the treasurer at the end of each mission. Doing Granum space. To start a sister, you simply need to complete this one, which means 25 kills in total, assuming you're solo, which is ideal. If you're having trouble killing them, remember the Zorus? Yeah, it can take care of the 25 even with 0 mods. Additionally, remember not to free any Solaris or pick up any time pyramids, this way you won't waste any time. Just kill the 25 and chill till the minute ends. Starting the sister and checking her stats. After your sister candidate spawns, shoot her and then check what weapon she has. Different weapons have different ideal elements. I'll talk about this when I show you some builds. So if you like the weapon with your current element, you hold X and start the sister. Upon extraction, you can check her stats by going to the escape menu and then clicking on this blue square. There's quite a few things to talk about here. Let's start from top left. This is her level, and it will increase when you stab her with the wrong Requiem. These are her abilities. This is the rage meter, aka the chance of her spawning in a mission, which will reset every time she levels up. This is her weapon, and this is the element on it. These are currently equipped Requiem mods, this is your test history, and these are your known Requiems. Additionally, if your sister has an ephemera, you should see some visual effects here. Remember that you have about a 20% chance to get an ephemera. Now let's have a look at her Hound. Since you'll be killing a lot of hounds, let me tell you some of the abilities your hound could have. This head is related with no Loadout, which means when your hound uses it, the next ability you use will be cancelled, and that ability will be locked for like, I think 15 seconds. So watch out, try to use your survivability abilities beforehand. This is related to Repo Audit, which can disarm you, so try using Operator to bypass it. This head is the most annoying of the bunch, and it can constantly knock you down. Try using Magus Lockdown to CC the hound and then focus fire to kill it immediately. See these legs? These are related to Reflex Denial. It is the only hound that have ever killed me, because it reflects your own damage, aka by shooting it you're just gonna kill yourself. If your weapon is strong enough, even the toughest frames will get one-shotted. These legs are related to Diversified Denial, which can waste a lot of time since it is hard to hit the mini hounds. So lock down and then focus fire it. This one is related to Evasive Denial, which means they can teleport to run away. Same thing again, focus fire it. Equip the right loadout. Generally, I would leave loadouts and builds up to you, but hounds have some peculiar properties which affect loadouts drastically. To begin with, they get more and more damage reduction depending on your weapon's base damage. And I mean modded base damage. But this does not count for crits or status effects. You may be thinking this is not that big a deal as you can power through it anyway, but no! A crit weapon like Tenora Prime with my build needs roughly 40 shots or 68k worth of damage to kill a hound. On the other hand, an Exorcist with 115k base damage needs 4 or 5 shots to do the same. And this is after I put magnetic procs on the target for the Exorcist, while Tenora did it by itself. Additionally, hounds have a massive damage reduction against all damage dealing status procs, so even weapons as strong as my Revenated Phantasma, which melt through steel path heavies, will barely do a decent job at killing hounds. So generally go for high fire rate, high crit with decent status weapons, and mod them magnetic or magnetic heat. As for Warframes, I would say realistically any frame can do it, but if you're having trouble, then a tanky buff frame is probably your best bet, something like Neja, Rhino, etc. But there's a singular frame that is so much stronger than any other option, it is almost ridiculous. And that frame is none other than Nyx. Yes, you're hearing me say Nyx is the god of system missions, specifically her second ability. It strips all armor and shields with just 130% strength. So, you know, it turns this to this. But not everyone knows how to use Nyx, and even less are actually good at it. So instead, you could speed up the mission with an AoE frame to make up for the time you waste on hounds. Starting the right sister mission. To take care of your sister, you need to know the right requiems. You'll have the first, second and third requiem revealed to you by killing roughly 6, 12 and 18 hounds. Now let's talk about hounds. Every mission can spawn up to 3 hounds. The first one will spawn right after you load in, but for the other 2, you need kill count, time spent in mission, and unexplored tiles. The ideal scenario is that you kill every single enemy that spawns in the mission as you walk towards the objective. So roughly 40 enemies per minute. If you do this right, you'll get the second hound at about 2 minutes with 50 to 80 kills, and the third hound at under 3 minutes with 80 to 120 kills. But I've seen at times missions won't spawn enough enemies, and you'll be forced to stay at least 4 minutes. Also, remember that kills and time spent are counted separately, so you can't wait 2 minutes and then kill 120 enemies at once, nor you can kill 120 enemies and then just wait. And don't forget, you need unexplored tiles, so don't just run to extraction. However, if you already did go to extraction and you are not getting any more spawns, just leave. Staying would be a waste of time. So which mission to start? My personal answer would be Capture, Extermination, Rescue and Sabotage are top tier, since you can get all 3 hounds and finish under 3 minutes with little effort. And then we have Spy and Disruption, which can also be done as quickly but require more brain cells. Then we have Defense and Mobile Defense, which kinda suck. And at the very bottom we have Excavation, which is in holy there's no way someone with a brain put this in game tier. Cause of course it requires 5 friggin' digs. Each of them is just as long as a mobile defense console, they have less health and shields, and you have to constantly charge them or the timer stops. Just wow. Good job, TE. And oh, I totally forgot that this is their second time doing this. Nothing short of amazing. Sister encounters. As I said before, the chance of your sister spawning in a mission is based on the rage meter, though empty and max rage meter are not 0 and 100% chance. To get your rage meter to be maxed, you need to kill 12 hounds, which is like 4 missions. Once your sister spawns, the first thing you should do is to shoot and kill her hound, which is harder than a normal hound. I really recommend equipping an Ool in the first Requiem slot, even if you don't want to use it. because every time you guess a Requiem right, she'll spawn another Hound, at least if you wait till she spawns it. And these Hounds are separate to the mission Hounds, so you can get up to 6 Hounds per mission, which is absolutely bonkers. I really recommend farming Hounds from sister encounters, so don't just stab and fail the first time she spawns. I suggest doing it the second or third time she spawns, depending on what missions you have left, of course. Once you fail the Requiem test, you will get equivalent to 1.5 for Murmurs, maybe 2, but definitely not more. And your sister will rank up, changing the missions and resetting the rage meter. Same thing happens if you run out of missions. Sister missions ordered by rank are at Venus, then Phobos, Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto. Also, enemy levels change accordingly, ranging from 55-75 to 90-110. Railjack missions. This is probably the easiest part of the whole thing. You jump into your Railjack, equip your Photor for the annoying cruise ship shield, destroy 2 cruise ships and 2 security nodes, jump in the big ship, shoot your Lich, and you're done. What's that? Your sister is near invincible? Well, equip a damage Warframe, or a proper Nyx which makes her as weak as a wet tissue paper, or you could just join on public, but be warned, the more people you have in your squad, the more Liches you must collectively kill. And no, randoms from recruit chat cannot join you, unless they have a sister to kill as well. So once you shot your sister, if you kill her, you'll get the weapon, ephemera, and the Hound. But if you convert her, you get the ephemera and herself, which will spawn in your missions at times. Converting also makes it possible to trade her. Despite you getting her ephemera, the buyer will get it too. So now let's talk about the weapons. You can get 8 weapons from Sisters of Parvos: Tenet, Arca, Plasmor, Flux Rifle, Envoy, Tetra, Cycron, Detron, Diplos, and Spirex. Let's talk about each in details. Tenet Arca Plasmor. Compared to the original, with a 60% bonus, it has over double the base damage. Same crit chance but higher crit damage, better fall off, slightly less fire rate, same magazine but slightly higher reload, and increased status, which is always nice. The way I personally mod this weapon is this. I tried using Savvy and it was disappointing. You wanna know something? The more multi-shot you have, the better your ammunition becomes. And yeah, even at this level, 2 or 3 shots is often the end. Get this one with a heat. Tenet Flux Rifle. Up to 60% extra base damage, twice the crit, reduced crit damage, 25% more fire rate, like 20% extra magazine, 22% less reload. And yes, I said less reload despite the base saying it's 1, but in reality it's 2.2. And a little bit more status. Good stuff all around. And here's the build. Before you even attempt to tell me, didn't you say you value usability over everything else? So where's the serration then? Well, my little friend, I did say I value usability, but let me tell you, this build has nearly identical usability to having serration, except it has a lot more damage and a lot more status. And yes, this weapon must be a heat, or have you forgotten that it doubles our damage and armor? Remember, if you make a toxin or cold one, you cannot make viral heat with 2 mods anymore, because adding modded elementals together is priority in the modding system, the same way I can't make radiation toxin with 2 mods on my heat flux rifle. Oh, did I mention this thing can kill 185 heavies with like 6 to 8 ammo on average? Yeah, this is by far the strongest generic assault rifle in game, that I can remember at least. I might have Alzheimer's though. Tenet Envoy. New AoE weapon. Is it better than Brahma in dealing damage? No, not even close. Objectivity out the window, it is like 50 times better. You're telling me I can shoot fast, then aim? I'm all in, mate, all in. Here's my Envoy with 60% heat, and I like to build mine like this. But if you're going Steel Path or something, then just swap Firestorm with Hunter Mumu. Tenet Tetra, a weapon that was MR3, then MR4, and now MR5. This version is so much better than any of the other that it's not even fair to compare them. So how would you use this weapon? There are two ways. The first one, aka the lame version, is to use it like a worse Flux rifle. Here's the build, but honestly I didn't even test to find anything better because it is just garbage. But then, we have an alt fire. On default, it takes a full magazine to shoot and then you gotta reload. And it just isn't that good. But let me show you how God intended this weapon to be used. Grab your favorite max duration frame, like Zephyr. Put energized munition on your frame, put this build on, and go to town. I wouldn't be lying if I said this is the strongest AoE weapon in game. Because remember, rifle ammo, and we have like 7 full magazines worth of ammo. With just 2 magazines, you can kill these guys. So yeah. Oh, also, if you want it, try using arcane acceleration. The results will be delightful. Tenet Cycron. It's one of those weapons that it's so disgustingly close to another weapon that you're like, why did you even make this? This is basically a Corpus version of Kuva Nukor. Their DPS is pretty comparable. The only difference is that Nukor has bigger clip size and manual reload, but this has smaller clip size and auto reload. Personally, not a big fan, but I can't deny this has better usability. Here's my Cycron with almost 60% cold, but honestly, in this case, element doesn't matter much. Here's my build. It is all about heat procs. You just shoot them a bit and then let them burn. Actually thinking, burning to death is a lot more painful than bleeding to death. Maybe this is inhumane. No, what am I saying? It's perfectly fine. Tenet Detron. I do not like this weapon. And no, it's not because of the looks, nor performance. It's because Mara Detron is one of my favorite weapons. It was the first weapon I got Riven for. It has such a good sound effect and a nice kick to it. And then there's the Tenet version with basically zero recoil, worse sound effects, and they even made it accurate. What is this, fudging Pandero? And that's not all. They also ruined the usability. Tenet Detron is a crit weapon, and with crit weapons, you got a headshot, right? So, you would think that the more accuracy and less recoil is to make it more usable, right? But no, they took away its zoom. Like, come on, Mara Detron had a good zoom. And then we have its alt fire, which would be fucking sweet with no recoil and high accuracy. But guess what? Alt fire has like so much kick, it's unbelievable, and its accuracy is horrendous. Are you trying to make me mad? Here's my Detron with 60% toxin. I got 2 builds for it. One with ideal DPS that 3-shot 185s, which sucks in terms of usability, and another that 4-shots them, but's actually friggin' usable. Tenet Diplos, a crit weapon that barely has any zoom. And when you try to shoot something in the head, unless you started firing from the hip, enjoy using the alt fire, which is as effective as an actual Nerf gun. If I use the entirety of this weapon's ammo with the alt fire, it won't kill a single enemy at this level, not even one. Here's my Diplos. It is a 60% heat, and this is the build. Even its build is garbage at usability, since I kinda have to use galvanized crosshair. Do you see this reload? Ahem. It is really hard to fit a reload mod on this build, so you better get yourself one of these. But for comparison purposes, I won't use it here. Tenet Spirex, magazine of 8 and reload of 2.4. If you get 2 headshots, counting multi-shot, the reload becomes 1.6, since each headshot gives you 24% reload speed, up to 2 times. And the buff is also refreshable, but honestly, it should have been base 1.6 and then 48% reload speed to make it 1 second reload. The fire rate isn't high either, but that one is justified because it is just under Hemorrhage's fire rate requirement, and this weapon has guaranteed impact procs. Here's mine with 60% toxin, and here's the build. It can 1 to 2 shot even at this level, which is impressive, but it's just too slow for me. Requiem Mods. To get Requiem Mods, first you need Requiem Relics. The relics drop from Kuva Siphons and Floods, though only Floods have guaranteed drop. The more optimal way to get them, however, is to kill Kuva Lich Thralls or Sister Hound. Though since Lich Thralls are more numerous, they're better for farming them. So you could simply join a team that does Kuva Murmur, and you'll get quite a bit of Requiem Relics. After you get the relics, try opening them at a Requiem Fissure, which is at Kuva Fortress. Remember, each Requiem mod has 3 uses, meaning you can kill or capture 3 separate Lich or Sisters with it. Just testing doesn't consume a charge. Additionally, Ul can drop from Lich or Sisters when they flee to the Railjack Mission, meaning the mission that you get all 3 Requiems right. It has a 25% drop chance. And that's all for the video. Sorry for the long wait for this video. Originally the plan was a Volt animated video, but that took ages and is still far from ready, so I was preparing a Kuva weapon video. It was almost ready that this update came out. So anyway, I farmed everything and made this one ready first. I'll probably work on the Volt video for a bit before finishing the Kuva one. But yeah, I have a few projects half finished, so look forward to that. And maybe look out for some new styles of video because I'll probably make some. Also, if you wanted to talk to me directly, my Discord server is in the description. And just a reminder, I read every comment and I often answer any questions. Alrighty then. Have a good one and see you in another video. Bye bye!